Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Quest 64. I realized that it has been quite a while since the last video, like almost an entire year, but... well, this game, you know, is not great. And we've been busy uploading other videos to the channel, so there's that. But we're back and we are going to finish this. Even though it might be the last thing that I ever do. Because it will kill me. On the inside. Dead. So in the last video, we headed through Glencoe Forest, picked up all the spirits, and then wrapped our business up by listening to some Final Fantasy music, which was awesome, by the way. Now, make your way back out of the forest, and onto the Donderin Flats once again. We're gonna be finishing our little wending path through here, headed towards the next big location, wherein we will be facing new enemies, more werehairs, those little f***s, and a few other things. And really, my biggest issue with the next area, like once you get there, is the fact that the enemies there are not as difficult as the ones you faced in Glencoe Forest. So you do take a step back in terms of difficulty. There are a few things that get close to matching some of that power, but because we've already gotten all those extra spirit wisp things and done all that extra fighting and grinding, we're a lot stronger than we need to be in the next area. It's not as overwhelming because of that. So you end up again just kind of breezing through the location until you get into the area immediately after, Cull Hazard, which is actually quite difficult and confusing because it's basically a giant maze and it's all brown. Before we continue here, I'm just making sure we're headed in the right direction. As we will progress further, like before we talk about anything further into the game, we need to address the next section of the Donderin Flats because we're not actually done here yet. We have to fight our way through all this. There's actually one more spirit that we have to collect here. It's right by the ending area, and you kind of head up around a little corner, and there's another spirit there. It'll be the last one in this area before we move on. And at this point, we're getting really, really close to actually having all of the water element. Once that is finished, I am going to be leveling up the earth element. We have to, because you pick water for the healing spell, and immediately after that, you want to level up the earth element because there is a spell in there that gives you a barrier that makes you immune to all forms of magic damage, and since every enemy attacks you with some kind of magic damage, it makes you impervious to damage. There aren't any enemies that use an attack that is the equivalent of you hitting people with your stick. It's a very, very, very useful spell. It makes boss fights a breeze as we progress through this, and it'll cut the actual playtime down significantly because I'll just be able to run into fights, go pull through everyone, even if they are the stronger enemies that we'll face later on, and we'll be able to just continue through. Once you have the last wisp, make your way down, across the bridge, and to the boat, and, you know, wade your way through thousands and thousands of corpses of your fallen foes, wielding your staff mightily as you call the elements down upon them. And in the interest of saving time, we're going to do the entire next segment in like 20 seconds. Well, I hope you were all paying attention because we covered a lot of important information about the game in the last 45 seconds to a minute there. We talked about a lot of the stuff that's going to be going on in the future of the episodes, what's going to be happening, you know, as we continue into the game, what we're going to expect from the boss fights, all that kind of good stuff. Lots of fun facts and tips and tricks to help you guys really succeed. So I hope you guys really were just listening, paying tons of great attention to that huge speech I just gave. Now, we're going to, you know, we've saved the game, we're moving on, we're going to go to the next section, which is called West Karma, where we will finally get to experience something that isn't entirely shitty. And by that, of course, I do mean werehairs. I'm kidding. I am kidding. Believe me or not, I'm kidding. There are actually a lot of new enemies there that will spice up the gameplay just a bit. We'll see a few new spells used by our enemies, but as I said before, they're not really difficult because we've been through Glencoe Forest. So, you board the pirate ship, you go across the lake, you get off the pirate ship, you go up the stairs, there's a house, there's a thing, you go up, there's a bridge, you cross the bridge, and once you cross the bridge, we actually have to stop and start looking for wisps because there are 2 we have to get before we cross into the next area to go to Cull Hazard. Well, I mean, technically there are 3, but we'll get to that when we are into that next segment of West Karma, because it's not important when you're on the open, hilly, plain, meadow thing. There's a name for that, right? So, after crushing the Orc Jr. and, wading your way through hundreds and hundreds of corpses, including, like, little gremlin things and weird red-headed bitches and more orcs and werehares and undead dogs, you finally get to look for the spirits. The first of which is after you get off the ship, you're going to go north and up the stairs and across the bridge. We've already done that. Then you follow the dirt path up. There's another bridge. You go up around the corner and it should be on the overlook as you come around. I'll be on the left side. Get the spirit. You go back down the hill and you should be able to see the spirit on the hill directly across from you when you get down. So you get back on the path, cross the street, as it were. You run over the dirt path to that, go up the slope, and the other spirit in this area is right there. Easy pickings. Then we get to kind of wend our way through West Karma so that we can approach Cull Hazard, where the 3rd spirit wisp will be before we enter the giant brown cave of death. As you traverse West Karma, you'll notice that there are many ways for you to go and lots of things to explore. I'm gonna kind of power through all of those because we will get back to them later, but in the interest of doing this efficiently, I'm going to skip the city and some of the other areas you can go. The town itself is called Larapool. It's very interesting. That's where all of the water-based adventure comes from, which is the next bit after we go through Cull Hazard. Basically, you go to Larapool to prep yourself to fight the 3rd boss, because there's a big series of adventure that goes through there. So we will come back to it. I didn't go personally, but if you find yourself in Liverpool, there's an inn, you can get the blue wings, rest up, get ready to go, and then make your way back out into Karma, where I will be heading around a bend, across a log, and up a little mountainside towards Cull Hazard, where we do need to go. While you're making your way towards Cull Hazard and traversing that cliffy area, keep in mind that you will face the only enemy in this area that actually has a decent chance of killing you, because that goat thing knows Avalanche. And Avalanche can hit you more than 1 time per round, so they can actually damage you almost as much as you can damage them in a given turn. And this is where we acquire the 3rd spirit. When you get to the entrance to Cull Hazard, you'll notice there's like a little cottage or a shack there. It's full of a very nice old grandma. Yes, it is. And she will let you rest up, save the game. Do that because you might die in Cull Hazard. But then before you head into Cull Hazard, go around the house to the side. You will find the last spirit there. Pick it up, click on it, get ready to go. Once you're done traversing West Karma, you should have your 3 spirits in tow, and you should have saved the game at that little shack. If you did want to explore Larapool and the other areas here, you're absolutely welcome to do so. For now, all that's left for us is to head over to Cull Hazard and make our way to Normoon, which is the area immediately following. And once we're in Normoon, we'll get to fight the 2nd boss and explore some new areas, face new enemies, all that kind of cool jazz. But that's going to have to wait for the next episode, which I do promise will actually come before next year. Thank you for liking and commenting on this video. If you want to see more videos from the Lively Gamer Show, please don't forget to subscribe for updates at least once a week.